Okay.
Hi, this is Dr. Pachenik. Today I want to talk about Congresswoman Kate Hill from the 25th Congressional District in California. As you know, many of you know I write and I write fiction. However, this story that I'm about to tell you really beats out anything I could have created in fiction. Let me start with this Congresswoman. She's 32 years old, got elected in 2018 out of the 25th Congressional District in California. Apparently, she had a history of supporting the homeless and passed a $1 billion bill in California. I'm very impressed with that. Her parents are normal. Mother was a nurse, father's a policeman, and she in turn came from the UC Davis University and was involved in social activities. However, what happened subsequently really kind of floored me, to tell you the truth. She was found on the internet having Troilism. Now, Troilism is the original word for somebody engaged in a sexual act with three people. It can be two men, one woman, two women, one man. In this case, it was two women, one man. What made this unusual is that she was already a congresswoman and she hired this 22-year-old young lady and had sexual activities with her husband, and on our payroll. But that doesn't stop there. Apparently, she also added one more element to the Troilism, which I don't have a word for, but at the same time, she was having an affair with her congressional leader and the fundraiser for her committee and for her office. And at the same time that she was having Troilism, she was also having a sexual affair with this individual, a man. Now, all of this came out in public on the internet and social media when her husband posed photographs of the Congresswoman Hill in naked pose, combing the hair of her mistress lover, at the same time in the Troilism position with her husband and the mistress lover, and at the same time also smoking a bong. So there's not much more I can add to this other than the fact that what you do in private is your own business. But what you do on government time and on the taxpayers' time, that's our business and that's my business. I don't like that. I don't like to pay for that. I don't want her around. And what it really says is that Nancy Pelosi, who's the whip and in charge of the Democratic Party and comes from California, should have been in charge of everything that happened with Miss Hill. At the same time, Dianne Feinstein, who's the senior senator from California, should have been on top of that. And needless to say, at the same time, Adam Schiff from California should have been on top of it and should have made sure that Hill was either thrown out, penalized, and at the same time was charged on a felony charge. Once again, I'm not making a moral judgment. She can do whatever she wants. As many of you know, I grew up in Europe, so this is not a new phenomenon to me. What is new is that this is going on the taxpayers' dollar. And they considered her election in the press to be the millennial special. In other words, she represented the millennial generation. In my opinion, I know a lot of millennials in the South and the North. She's not indicative of any millennials that I know. However, she has to be held accountable. Nancy Pelosi has to come forth and read her the Riot Act. So does Adam Schiff. So does everybody else in that Democratic Party. They cannot let this ride by. As a famous actress once said, Charlize Theron, she said, "I am a completely sexualized and sexual individual." I agree, Charlize, you're a movie star. At the same time, Henry Kissinger said that power is an aphrodisiac. I agree, Henry, it is an aphrodisiac. But what it shows in this particular case is that power can be an aphrodisiac. At the same time, it can breed sociopathy, which means that she should never, never on congressional time had this kind of Troilism where the public paid for it. So in summary, I said, let's reality overcome fiction and let's get rid of her for once and for all. Thank you and good night.